I want to start by saying this. I understand. I really do. I've been where you are today, when life feels heavy, the future feels uncertain, and you wonder if things will ever be okay again. I've had moments where I felt lost, where I couldn't see a way out. I've been through those long nights where I questioned, God, why is this happening? What's the purpose of all of this? I've been there, confused, frustrated, even scared. And maybe you're feeling that way right now. Let me ask you, have you ever felt like life is spinning out of control? Like the weight of the world is pressing down on your shoulders and you're not sure if you can handle it anymore? We've all been there at some point. Maybe it's a health crisis, a broken relationship, financial struggles, or even the crushing weight of anxiety. A moment when you ask, will everything really be okay? But today, I want to remind you of something powerful. Everything will be fine, not because of what we can do, but because God is in control. And here's why that matters. God has never left you. He's never abandoned you. He's never stopped working for your good, even when it's hard to see. The Bible is full of promises from God, assuring us that no matter what happens, no matter how difficult life may seem, He is with us. His word is filled with hope, and every promise is for you. Yes, for you. So let's dive into some of these promises together. God says in Isaiah 41 verse 10, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Let that sink in for a moment. God is telling you right now, do not fear. And why? Because He is with you. Yes, you. No matter what you're facing, no matter how big the struggle seems, God is with you in the middle of it. Do you feel weak? God promises to strengthen you. Do you feel like giving up? God promises to help you. Do you feel like the weight of the world is too heavy? God says He will uphold you with His righteous right hand. If you're feeling like you can't carry the weight anymore, remember this: God is holding you up. You are not in this alone. And because of that, everything will be fine. Yes, things may be uncertain right now, but God's strength and power are certain. He has never failed, and He never will. Take a deep breath. Say it out loud to yourself. God is with me. I will not fear. Let those words be your anchor. All things work together for good. Romans 8, verse 28. Here's one of the most beautiful promises in the Bible from Romans 8, verse 28. All things, not just the good things, but the hard things, the painful things, the confusing things, all of it is being worked together for your good. And I know sometimes it's so hard to see the good when you're in the middle of the struggle, but that's where trust comes in. Think about Joseph in the Old Testament. His brothers sold him into slavery. He was falsely accused and thrown into prison. He could have given up, thinking that everything was falling apart. But in Genesis 50, verse 20, Joseph tells his brothers, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. What others meant for harm, God turned into something good, and He will do the same for you." Even when you can't see it, even when you don't understand the why, trust that God is working behind the scenes. Maybe right now you're going through something that feels impossible. Maybe you've been questioning God's plan, but I want to encourage you. God is always working. You may not see the full picture yet, but He is putting it together piece by piece, and in His perfect time, you will see the beauty of what He's been doing all along. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. John 14, verse 27. Listen to those words. My peace I give you. This isn't the kind of peace the world offers. The world gives peace that's temporary, peace that fades when things get hard. But Jesus gives us a peace that endures. His peace is not dependent on circumstances. It's the kind of peace that stays with you, even when life is chaotic. Remember the story in Mark 4 when Jesus calmed the storm. The disciples were terrified, thinking they were going to drown, but Jesus stood up, and with authority he said, "Quiet, be still," and just like that, the storm stopped. You may be in the middle of a storm right now. It may feel like the waves of life are crashing all around you, but I want to remind you of this. Jesus is in your boat. And if Jesus is in your boat, the storm does not have the final say. He speaks peace into the chaos. Right now, close your eyes and ask him for that peace. Say, "Jesus, I receive your peace. Calm the storm in my heart. His peace is with you. And because of that, everything will be fine. The Lord is my shepherd." Psalm 23 verse 1. God is your shepherd. That means he is watching over you, guiding you, and providing for every need. When the Lord is your shepherd, you lack nothing. He leads you to green pastures and still waters. He restores your soul. Even when you walk through the darkest valleys, he is with you. Think about that for a moment. Even in your darkest moments, even when you feel lost and alone, God is right there with you. He knows what you need before you even ask. He sees your pain, your fears, your struggles, and he is walking with you every step of the way. Are you in need today? Are you facing a challenge that feels impossible? God is your shepherd. He will provide for you, guide you, and protect you. He will never leave you. Deuteronomy 31 verse 6. God gives us one of the most comforting promises in all of Scripture. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. God will never leave you. He will never abandon you. Even in your darkest moments, when you feel like no one understands, God is right there, walking with you. His faithfulness is unwavering. In Lamentations 3 verses 22 to 23, we are reminded, "Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness." God's faithfulness doesn't change with our circumstances. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So no matter what you're facing, remember this. So how can we be sure that everything will be fine? How can we really trust that God will keep his promises? These are not just empty words. These are the promises of the God who created the universe, and they are for you. Right now, wherever you are, take a moment to pray. Surrender your fears and worries to him. Say, "God, I trust you. I place my life in your hands. Let his peace, his strength, and his love fill your heart. Everything will be fine, not because life is perfect, but because God is in control."